All right, what's good, everyone? Welcome to another show. And I'm here with a very special guest, a good friend of mine, I would say, at this point. And we're going to talk about like how we kind of met and all of that as well, because I think it's very interesting how we got to know each other a little bit better. This is Julius Tillery of Black Cotton, and he's out of Northampton County, North Carolina, and he's a fifth generation, believe it or not, y'all, fifth generation Black cotton farmer. And Black Cotton creates home decor, jewelry, accessories. It's all handmade with cotton that Julius and his family cultivate and care for. So I want to say the slogan, which is "Cotton is our culture," right? Is that the slogan? Cotton,
That's right.
right?
That's right.
So I wanted to do that right because that's like an accolade. This is not, I have like a whole list of questions and all of that stuff. But I wanted to let everyone else out there know like who I was talking to and why it's important to have someone like you on the show because I feel like, you know, I was looking for you, but how many people are really looking for, like the cotton farmer at this point? So I feel like until like the world needs to know about you. I'll say that. Like they need to know about you for a host of different reasons. So hopefully, we can get to all the reasons as to why the world needs to know about you and your family and what you do. And I'm gonna get into all the questions in just a second, but me and Julius met. How did we meet, Julius? I slid in the DMs, right?
hmm You know, follow me, sent me a message. I responded. I try to respond to all real messages. Like if you show that you're not a bot and you're really about something, I try to respond to you.
Yeah,
And and you had some good information and good spirit. And I told you, come on down.
yeah, so I was like, so y'all out here, I have like a connection and a weird affinity to manufacturing, and a lot of people don't really understand that connection to me in manufacturing. But from doing like, t-shirt companies and things like that, doing designs or what have you, it always made me think about like, how about I don't want to be the person that's just putting the designs on the shirt. How do I make the shirt? You know what I'm saying? Like the actual shirt. So thinking about manufacturing in that way, it kind of led me to you because for me, it's like I want to try to do everything that I'm doing in my life in the blackest way possible. So I'm like, all right, well, how do I make sure that if I'm interested in manufacturing, how do I make sure that from the very beginning to the end, it's just like black owned, black created, black run, black operated, all of that. So that's how I came to look for you. You know what I'm saying? For black cotton farmers. And the interesting thing, and you can speak to this, it wasn't that many. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't that many. And is that what you found as well? I mean, you know more about black cotton farmers than I do, but do you find the same thing that it's just not as many of you because it was a short list when I really went to look for black cotton farmers.
Yeah, so I'm a fifth generation cotton farmer. My area that I come from is like a cotton producing area. So like it's a strong area to produce cotton in because of the facilities, the cotton gins, there's people doing it around us. So I've always been exposed to the industry. But when, at a certain age, when I was working it, I started to ask questions how many other people are doing what we're doing. And that's when I started going to farmer conferences and asking around, and I started realizing the numbers is really dwindling. Like I know that there's a lot of people that was getting out of the industry of farming in general, but just to be define how many people are really raising cotton is, it I can't see it being more than 1,000 in the US right now.
Mm.
Like
And that's in total, or just you mean like just black?
black in total.
Wow.
Yeah, at one time it was hundreds of thousands of black farmers, blacks that was raising cotton, and now it's like less than 1,000. And it's really in the hundreds. It's the number is really it's dwindling constantly. And so, like, by the time thinking about my generation, how many black guys in my generation is raising cotton?
Hmm.
Maybe 100 at
Yeah.
the most. and that's really pushing it.
I mean, like for real, I feel like that's pushing it only because like you're the only person I know like now personally that does this. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like I mean maybe it is that amount, but I don't know how many people actually know someone that works in this area. Even like how you felt, working in this industry as like a young man, because you still a young man, like did you just say, all right, I'm gonna just continue the work, or was this kind of like a maybe a fight for you? Maybe you wanted to do something else in your life.
Well, like even that acknowledging that it might be like a hundred people my age, bracket that's raising cotton. Like I think my story in raising cotton is a humble one, and that's something I have no shame in. Like there's to be able to have a lot of land. It can come some crazy stories behind that. You know what I mean? How do people get to a lot of land? You know what I'm saying? And or have a lot of equipment. And I don't think as many black farmers of my age bracket that's been proud to be farmers. You know what I'm saying? And I know as someone that's a lifelong farmer, I had to look at like what does the future of this look like for me and my family. And one thing I wanted to say to myself, like when I first started a business of black cotton, is I don't want to be ashamed of being a cotton farmer.
Right.
So
Why do
I
you
had
think
to,
that? Why
I
do you think that comes along with it? I mean, I think it's, we can make that connection as Black people, but can you speak to it? Like, why is that a part that comes with being a cotton farmer, a Black cotton farmer? Like shame. Why would that be shame?
Well, when I was growing up, I didn't even think too much about the racial component. I think of the poverty component because, like, where I'm from, it's very poor area. It's not a lot of opportunities economically. And I feel like people from urban areas, they didn't see economic prosperity from being a farmer in
Mhm,
general. You know what I'm saying? Whatever type of farming it is. And but then to add the layer of you're a cotton farmer, you picking cotton. It's
mhm,
like a joke behind it as well. So growing up, I initially saw it as a dirty chore more than a business. You know what I mean? And I didn't at one point, I didn't want to see the work that I would put into this be categorized as that. I had to change my perspective, and I had to change the perspective of, even farmers from our area that could be raising a lot, farming a lot of land. A lot of us seem to think that we're poor. You know what I'm saying? Even my grandfather, before he passed away, he saw the business I was developing, but he didn't know if being a poor farmer was for me. And
mhm.
he questioned me on it. And I was like, well, I'm gonna just do my best. I'm not gonna give up on us as a family. So I didn't see no way out of me farming. Because it's the way that we pay our taxes. Like if I was to hit the lottery or had some other, profession that made a lot of money, maybe it would make sense.
Yeah.
But because I don't, I feel like the best way I could support our family farm is doing it the way my granddaddy does it, and the same way my daddy knows how to do it, the same way. So I had to figure out something special about what we did, and in figuring out that special thing is I want to change how people see us and how we see ourselves
Mhm,
and see our value. Like a piece of cotton is not literally worth a penny if you think about it. But if you know how to design it and give it worth, it could be worth $20, $100. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I showed my grandfather before he died. And
mhm.
I'm glad he see that I had a direction of that.
How did you come up with the idea to utilize cotton in this way? Because I mean, like when I started seeing like the home decor pieces that you guys have, and like I have some cotton from your farm as well. The t-shirts, just the branding that you came up with for something that I guess is connected to, like you said, like this like dirty job, like this shame type of scenario. I love how you change and flip the perception. So how did you come up with that idea, and what made you push it in this way?
Well, when I initially started the black cotton business, I wanted us to take our cotton and make shirts and clothing, but I didn't understand none of the logistics. So when I started to understand the logistics behind it, I realized quickly that I didn't have the money to make those things happen. So all this branding ideas I've came up with, way of describing, cotton that comes directly from a black man, a black family farm like mine. I didn't want to throw away those ideas, so I carried it on. So I looked at what did we had. I was like, well, we got cotton, and I cut some cotton stalks with one of my partners, and I started to realize like what can we do with this, and I knew that people was taking cotton and making things like decorations, and I knew that Harris Teeter was selling some of the cotton, in some pre-research and development. And then I started seeing Michaels and other places sell it. I said, well, if they can sell it, I could sell it too. And I was like, this cotton. I started looking at it. I was like, this not even real cotton. Like it's stuff that's looked like cotton. You know what I'm saying? It's manufactured. And I was like, my cotton can have just as much value as this. And I started on that premise. And from that premise, I've worked to be as flexible as possible, involve myself as many artistic and creative people as possible, especially in our Black community. And organically, we have created some really good products and designs. Like in a lot of my Instagram posts that I first started beginning doing this, I used to always hashtag authentic, original, authentic. Like we ain't bite no one style on this. Like we gave people what they wanted. You know what I'm saying? They wanted stuff they can put in their house, so we figure out how to do it. And that came from going to a lot of shows, talking to a lot of people. People would tell us what they wanted, so we listen. I mean, I've heard thousands of cotton stories. You know what I'm saying? Like I am this cotton person in the industry because I really put myself fully into it.
Yeah. And speak to really quickly, you were saying like you wanted to make things out of cotton, but you realized in terms of you just didn't have enough money. And are you talking about like going into the manufacturing process? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
even the process to turn the cotton that we grow into something, you have to transport it to a place that's even a cost too. But you got to be large enough that you can make something out of the cotton yarn. So you spending tens of thousands of dollars in this process. But then to transport that to somewhere else, which costs tens of thousands of dollars sometimes, in transporting, you got to then make another product, the actual print of the shirt. Then you have to put the design. Then you have to ship it out. It
Mhm.
comes to $100,000 or more. You know what I'm saying? You have to have this liquid type of money to be able to do a direct farm to product.
And that's why like I initially came to you because that's basically one of the ideas that I would like to do as well. I'm like, how do we get this chain kind of happening? Because from like my research of like cotton and farming and textiles and garments and all of those types of things and manufacturing, what it seems like is in terms of just like you said, there's not many Black cotton farmers. So what it seems like is there are far more white cotton farmers in the US. And what they tend to do is create different families create what's called like a delta, where it's like there's a cotton farm here and then there's a cotton gin somewhere else, maybe a few miles away, and they utilize that family and that company. And then there's the next process, like you were just saying, with the yarn and all of that is within a few miles of that. So you kind of work within each other's family. You kind of keep it all in the family. We don't have that. I would say, generally speaking, I don't know how, or do you know if we have a scenario that's close to that where we can even begin that manufacturing process? Because like Trump and the other scenarios that's happening right now they're really trying to figure out how to bring manufacturing basically back to United States. So
Mhm.
like, why wouldn't we try to go after or figure out how to do those types of things as a community, or does something like that already exist that I just don't know about?
All right, so you know how you gave that process of the white farmers? The gin part is correct. It's a lot of cotton gins by big white farmers in rural areas. Like my rural area has a cotton gin every town.
Yeah.
And there's been co-ops that's been developed around the gins to more so now one major co-op that buys some majority of the white farmers. You know what I'm saying? The big, it's like the big business eats it up and it's one majority co-op. But when you talked about the meal process, there's not many meals. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of gins, but let's say that there's only like 10 meals in a three-state radius.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And of the meals that a small farmer like myself could directly do business with, there's only one. And I'm connected to that only one. You
Mhm.
know what I'm saying? Like the reason why like I even got my shirt made with the deal with Vans is because I put in so much work advocating for this thing that I'm the number one person to coach to this thing.
Mhm.
And you know what I'm saying? Like if I didn't do the home decor, I wouldn't built the wave that a big company would be like, all right, we'll mess with you. We'll see if you could do it.
Wait,
And
so
that's what
talk about the situation with Vans really quickly because I didn't bring it up, but I want you to talk about that and talk about this. Does that one mill that you just mentioned have to do with the scenario in Vans, or no? Did y'all go through someone else?
no, me and Vance, we said we could do it, and I created a relationship. I knew that I could have a relationship to deal with that meal. I
Mm,
mean, I talked to the other meals, but it really wasn't feasible for me to deal with them. I
okay.
was too small, like and as there ain't many black farmers that raise as much cotton as I do. Most of them that farm cotton raise more than me, but it ain't many of us. You know what I'm saying? I'm probably the most out and publicized and popular
So
farmer.
so break this down for me really quickly, right? Because I don't think that most black people even understand this whole process. So how much is a lot of cotton for a black farmer to bring in, like you said?
I raise 50 acres of cotton a year.
Mhm.
Most of the people that's in the cotton business raise 5,000 or more acres of cotton.
Wow.
And there's a lot of people that raise 500 to 1,000 acres. You know what I'm saying? It's different levels to this stuff. There's people that raise tens to 20,000 acres of cotton. You know what I'm saying? It's big ass farms.
Mhm.
I'm just an itty bitty farmer. But in my 50 acres of raising cotton, there's plenty of farmers that don't raise 10 acres of anything. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? An acre of if you farm an acre where you at, that's a big farm. You know what I'm saying? So
Agreed.
it's just all about scale.
Got it. So with the 50 acres that you have, right, and the cotton that you could produce with that, how did your cotton get to the scenario with Vans?
Vance, one of the people reached out to me and he wanted to do a business deal. He liked my work and liked what I stood for. How they was like, how can we help you? I was like, well, help me make this thing happen, and we made it happen. You know what I'm saying? Basically, helping me get my cotton turned into a shirt.
Nice, into an actual shirt. So the mill that you mentioned, like, so what about, so what happened with the process? So Vans they took your cotton and then they did all of the other things, or did it ever get to like the gin that your family worked with at some point, and then this one mill that you knew of, and then it gets to Vans, or did
Yeah.
Vans just handle all of it?
Yes, gin in my area. It goes to the mill in North Carolina, and then it goes to a textile factory when they make the shirts.
Wow.
So,
So that's good. So that's basically like the process that we was just talking about. So you did that with the van scenario to an extent. So
mm,
yeah, and remember when I first came down there to meet you as well, I had already reached out to the gym that was near you as well, because I was already thinking in that way, like how do I connect these dots? You know what I'm saying? And then the next place after that would be a mill, and I knew it stopped right there. Like I couldn't find any like black mills, you know what I'm saying? But I think that even with cotton farming or just all types of farming in general, I don't think that black people, especially because we've been like in urban places so much, we even consider these as opportunities or jobs. I mean, can you speak to this about like maybe the need for exploring these types of jobs or these type of things, or is this something like if you're not familiar with like the South or the lands or whatever, you should just stay out of it?
I take you to that cotton gin.
Yeah, we went there. Remember,
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to put up some video and all of that because I'm glad we do it like this so I can edit things. So I'm gonna try to put up some video to show, like, yeah, we went to the cotton gin, and you was telling me, and the person told me like how much money it would take to really get it up and running again, and he was still trying to get like licensing and all of that. So it's like it's just a thing that I feel like black people don't know about, that we have this need in these areas, and we could really work through like a maybe an industry. Like we got to create our own industries here. You know what I'm saying? Like what the Vans thing did should show like we got to be able to do that, and every stop got to be Black. So if we don't have a piece, it's like, how do we get a piece to this puzzle? And I don't know, that's why I'm asking you, like, since you are a piece to this puzzle,
Yeah.
what I'm saying, do you think this is a necessity, or do you think that people that are like
Well, I can tell you this. You're right. We need to find like, yeah, you're absolutely right. We need to create these like meals and stuff, but this is millions of dollars we had to fundraise. You know what I'm saying? And I don't feel like our celebrities or our wealthy people think about investing in capital like that.
Mhm.
Maybe they have. I just haven't seen it in the ag side and the manufacturing side. But maybe people become alert and start getting into that type of investing.
Yeah.
But it would definitely take millions of dollars.
Yeah, I'm sure. And that's the thing. Like, we need, I don't want to get into my whole reparations speech or what have you, but this is kind of a part of it to me. And I feel like cotton should be one of the main things, you know what I'm saying, that Black people have access to. You know what I mean? Like, although it's been in your family for many years, I feel like you should have more land, more access, be here go our DEI stuff, right? Should have easier access to getting your things turned into like whatever. Talk to us about like do the things when they talk about like people have to turn in their seeds, or you're not able to get seeds and all of that. Does that affect you because it's like been in your family, or like how does that process work?
Heck yeah, cotton seeds are expensive.
Mm,
That's biotech, and at the end of the year, in the cotton gin, they pretty much collect your seeds. So you don't replant this stuff. You got to buy this stuff every year. Like the expenses that come with farming are incredible. You know what I'm saying? It takes like for us to plant our crop, we spend like $8,000-9,000 every year just on inputs.
and that's just to get seeds. Like, so why? What's the reasoning that the government gives for this process? Like, can you tell me as a farmer, like, why do they say you can't plant your own seeds? Is it because it has to be like regulated or something like that? Like, what?
Technology on the seeds, and that's what makes it like that you got to buy them every year. Because the technology helps you with spraying the crops and stuff like that for the GMO stuff. And it's more effective, you know what I'm saying? Like we just don't have the labor to spray, to plant heirloom cotton seeds that we don't know what to, for their weeds and whatnot. And it just doesn't make sense to do it anymore, like in that direction. The way people don't do that stuff no more. We don't have workforces to, handle that type of stuff. You gotta have like these technological products for like GMO row crops. And I wish we didn't. We have to have agricultural revolution to like get rid of that type of stuff. But that's what it is. Because I honestly wonder, why do we have these biotechnology companies? Like they supposed to be making stuff better, but all they do is make the stuff more expensive every year.
Yeah,
Like people have been planting seeds and spraying stuff, chemicals for hundreds of years. Why does this stuff cost so much?
yeah,
Literally, the seeds. Why is it like? Why are we paying $600 a bag?
that's crazy.
And when I was younger, it used to be less than $100 a
Really.
bag, but now it's $600 a bag. Why?
And
It's
what
seeds that they cover with some stuff.
and the stuff that they cover it with is supposed to be for what? Like human benefit, or like so the seed could grow properly? Like, what is?
Yeah, it's supposed to make it grow better and more resilient to the stuff that he spray on to make it perform well. And I mean, it works good. I give it that. But it's like, why do we still spend so much money?
Yeah.
I don't get it. And you know what? In Brazil, they don't spend that money, and they take our same seeds. They got our genes, and
Mm,
they don't pay that cost. In Asia, like in China, they don't pay that biotech cost. The people that pay it is the NATO countries, and most of the Americans.
interesting.
The Canadians do a little bit too, but it's mostly these Americans. But the Asians don't pay for it. They don't spend that money on this stuff, and the Brazilians don't either.
Interesting. So, we've seen like Black farmers fight for justice when it comes to like USDA discrimination and all of that. So have you personally faced any challenges with the government or agricultural institutions in like trying to get funding or loans or resources for the farm?
On my personal farm, we personally don't. utilize government resources. Like there's this trap that there's farmers that get money from the government every year so they can farm, right? They
Mhm.
get the loans, and like I told you, it costs $9,000 to raise cotton.
Yeah.
This shit is high. You know what I'm saying? So people they'll go to get loans from the USDA. Now, when you get these loans from the USDA, you got to report all this paperwork. They all in your business.
Mhm.
Unless a lot of farmers don't want to deal with USDA and that record. They don't want them to have loan officers wondering about who they're getting checks from and who they're doing business with. And that's a culture around that. Now, if you want to get the $100,000 and $150,000 operating loan, it comes with costs for that. And
Interesting.
I've known plenty of farmers that's lost all their equipment they get with those loan money
Really.
because
Hmm.
they can't make the payments. Then you tie and you tie your farm up into that stuff too, because you got to collateralize all your whatever loans and stuff.
Right.
That stuff is like tricky and it's not easy thing. Like people like you gotta be careful working with these people.
Do you think Black farmers are getting their fair share of funds? I mean, even though I know you don't take government funding, do you think that Black farmers are getting their fair share of funding from the government in general anyway? Like if they are a person that's asking?
No, we're nowhere in no type of form or getting a fair amount of funds. I think like even like yes, we receive payments for for subsidy programs. You know what I'm saying? So it's not that we not gotten any money from the government, but it's like what money do I want to get from the government and what do I feel like that comes with? You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I'm saying. People gotta be careful in taking the loans from the government.
Mhm.
Like a loan is loan, and these people are business folks too. You know what I'm saying? That's what I think a lot of black farmers, the ones who are still like multi-generational one that's seen the waves of what working with USDA can mean, they be careful in working with them, you know what I'm saying? I know a lot of people didn't receive any of that settlement money because the folks that really received it are folks that had debts that came from that, agriculture.
Wait. So go back and say what settlement money. I know what you're talking about, but just tell the people what settlement money you're talking about specifically.
There was this big like $2 billion black farmer settlement money that recently came out, but it's mostly for people that had debts from the government. You know what I'm saying, like operating loans and stuff. And if you didn't have any loans, you didn't get any of that settlement money. But like we're affected by not having that money because like we always running a thin budget, operation, but not under threat of being foreclosed on. If that makes sense.
Yeah, and remember when I came down there, we were driving, we was way out in the country where we was at, right? And um remember you were showing me like I guess it was like the irrigation systems of
Mm-hmm.
certain farms and like how like your farm or maybe like specific farm don't necessarily have an irrigation system. Like wouldn't some of those type of funds maybe go towards that or help with that so you can like you know what I'm saying? I don't know if that helps the farm or not. Like I'm not a farmer, so you tell me if that's a better thing, like to have those systems and it since it's I'm assuming it's so expensive, wouldn't it be more helpful to like, get the monies that you could possibly get from whatever funding from the government?
Maybe, we just haven't taken the route of taking government funding to get that stuff.
Mhm.
You know, um, and the larger farmers, they don't mind taking up debt. You know what I'm saying? That's big, large farms have $250,000, $500,000 in debt easily, millions of dollars in debt. You know what I'm saying? So we just haven't been in a place that we want to do that.
Yeah, I
Hmm.
get that. So what do you see as the next step for Black Cotton for your farm in general? Like where are you trying to take this, I guess? Like, do you want like is it like the vision of like you want more farmland or you just want to keep your farm and you want to try to expand on what you have or like yeah, what do you see this coming to in the future?
What I really think, is I'm gonna do what we can control. What I really like to do is build a barn, a really nice a barn and a farm shelter and a tiny home. And I just want to make the experience of when people come visit our farm better. You know what I mean? Like I want us to organize ourselves, have more security for like our cotton that we harvest, making sure that it's out of weather and everything. And I feel like, we're gonna fundraise and we're gonna find ways without taking on a lot of debt to make that barn project work. And I think that'll really upgrade us. And then from there, we'll think of the next thing that's reasonable for us to do. Because
Yeah.
we want people from all over the country to come and, spend time, spend money with us, spend money in our community. And we want to build up the community of people understand that cotton is magical, it's cool, find your healing here.
But tell like so a lot of people might not understand this like I said like the agro-tourism type of scenario. But for me, like I had a personal reason as to why I kind of wanted to go. I mean, I did think it was healing. It was a healing experience actually. Like I mean, not only like the connection to like okay you're there in a more of a rural area or whatever like you in the country so you in the with the grass and the land and all of that but not even that it's just also like it's this concept and your connection in your mind to cotton like when you think about you know what I'm saying like that connection of being black and what in cotton you start to think of so much more and your spirit kind of like you know what I mean, connects to that land, even though it's your family's land. Like, I think that's what people appreciate about coming to spend time with you down there on the land, get to walk the land, get to see like, like a family that, kind of set the tone for what we kind of all wanted. You know what I'm saying? You guys have the 50 acres. It was supposed to be 40 acres in a mule. At least you guys got the 50 acres out of this. So I think that's always like a beautiful thing. So that's why it's always important for me to like, figure out ways to try to support you and support other, farmers, black farmers specifically that are in a similar scenario. So yeah.
I think it's wonderful. We love to support. Like if you see a black farmer online, follow them, say something cool to them. Go visit, ask them, can they want visitors? I think the agritourism inside of the black farming community is going to help bring us all a black community together as well. Like I want to see more of us become farmers and have our places as places that we can feel safe at and we can learn and to be sustainable.
Yeah. What do you think is the next thing that we can use like cotton for? Or is there something that, maybe we can do here in America? Remember I talked about it really briefly about manufacturing here. Like what else do you think is major for cotton like use in this country, hopefully?
You know what I mean? I'm giving up some game right here.
Uh-oh.
Because I might do this, but like the handkerchief clinics, you think about like when we have a handkerchief for like going, to like church for like special funerals and stuff. Whose cotton is this? It
Mm-hmm.
should definitely be something from black people, and that's something simple. Like we should put our tears on our own cloths. So
Yeah.
maybe that's something I work on in a simple way.
I like that. I like that. And one major reason why I want to continue to like, check you out and check out what you're doing in the Cotton Gin family that was near you as well is because I really do believe that the more people know about this, like we gotta put information out to fundraise for you guys. Cause I think like this is a worthy cause to try to help you all keep your, what I'm saying, business and family running out like it's a piece of us all. I feel like I don't know why I think it's the cotton. It really does that. It makes us feel like connected. And I think the more and more we put this out, like the more support hopefully we could get for you and your family and everything that you guys are doing because you're needed. Like I keep saying, you're appreciated. Don't
But
forget.
Well, what's funny is like we're very blessed just to be existing in this place we at. The world has been going through a lot, and sometimes I just don't feel like always hitting people upside the head with trying to ask for some money or always trying to sell people stuff. Sometimes I wait on the Lord for letting me know when it's a good time to ask people for have their ask, and I think if we always all the time trying to sell, we really don't have our people's heart. And sometimes we just gotta do work, and that's the thing that we be quiet about what we do sometimes a black cotton, and but we come out with something and it's that people be like, wow, how did you get that done? Well, we just cut our head down and not focus on trying to get as much coins out of people, but actually do meaningful work.
Yeah, and I get that. I swear to God, I do. But this is the only thing I'm saying is like we have to, as Black people, like we gotta invest in,
Yeah.
keep saying, in the industries that are gonna support our own people. And you know what I'm saying? If we really looked at it from the space of we're creating industries, it's not just giving a donation. It's like, how else can I be a part of this to create this delta that I spoke of, to create these handkerchiefs, these t-shirts, these whatever it is that we, you know what I'm saying, can create. Like it has to be a movement in that way where it's like, okay, yeah, we going to donate money, but it's for a bigger goal, because once we get this, now the next thing that we're going to do is do that. That's really the way I see it in my mind when it comes to, you know, like what you can contribute, and what a whole host of other Black Americans can contribute, because I think we should run that industry, like the manufacturing, textile, and garment industry. I think that we should, especially because of our like connections to cotton. So, but yeah, I appreciate you. I appreciate you coming on today. I'm definitely gonna have you again. I'm gonna come down there. I'm telling you guys, I'm gonna put up like a bunch of pictures and videos while I talk to Julius Tillery, fifth generation cotton farmer, Black cotton farmer. I'm so proud to say that I know you. I'm so grateful to you and your family for accepting me and my family. Me and my sister came down there and just was weird and stalked your cotton for for a couple of days. But I appreciate you. I really do. And yeah, if you guys want to see or want more information about Black cotton, I'm definitely gonna put all the links down below. Is there anything you want to say before we go, Julius? Are you good?
Yeah, definitely follow me Black Cotton at blackcotton.us on Instagram. You can find me on Facebook. Yeah, show us some love and we'll show it back.
Yeah, definitely go and check out the home decor stuff. They got some like big, beautiful tables, centerpieces, wreaths out of cotton. This is like really beautiful pieces. So please go check them out. Again, I'm gonna put everything in the comment section, and make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe and all of that. I'm Miss Robinson, and thank you for watching Black Reality. Thank you. All right, guys. Peace, peace.